So before I have Senator Golden make some comments, I want to make a couple of comments myself. And the comments I'm going to make have to do directly with reading from the bill. Like the Mueller Report, many people haven't read this legislation. And I think it's important to read this legislation, and there's some language that we have to praise those who wrote the language. Most often, Senator Golden, in writing the language, that is very important and really gets to the core of why this legislation is so important. So the beginning of the legislation starts with, this chapter shall be known and be cited as the Reproductive Privacy Act. Neither the state nor any of its agencies or political subdivisions shall restrict an individual person from preventing, commencing, continuing, or terminating that individual is pregnant prior to fetal viability, interfere with an individual person's decision to continue that individual's pregnancy after fetal viability, restrict the use of evidence-based medically recognized methods of contraception or abortion except in accordance with the evidence-based medically appropriate standards that are in compliance with the state and federal statutes enumerating in subsections C1 and C2, Department of Health regulations and standards referenced by subsection C3 and subsection D, or restrict access to evidence-based medically recognized methods of contraception or abortion, or the provisions of such contraception or abortion except in accordance with the evidence-based medically appropriate standards that are in compliance with the state and federal statutes enumerated in subsection C1 and C2, Department of Health regulations and standards referenced in the subsection C1 and section D. So I think that is important, except for the subsections, for people to clearly understand the intent of this type of legislation and what it codifies and why it's an important decision for women and law to make. And with that, I admire the language and those who wrote it and defer to Senator Golden for her comments and a motion.